Hi, good morning. And let's see how far we get. Avery. Hi, Nina. Hi, Mom. I missed somebody else. I see 3. Hey, where are you going with that? Can I have that one? Oh, my rag is gone now. Shoot. I had a wet rag here to clean up sticky. Oh, yeah. They're being really cute so far today. Here you go. This. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. They're being really cute today. Oh, and they're getting really messy with those little oranges things. I know, right? It's too much. It's too much. They're so cute today. So let's see if we can get any reading done while they are entertaining themselves back there. They're in good moods today. So they apparently had pretty bad allergies and weren't sleeping for weeks. And the doctor put them on children's Zyrtec because our alternative stuff just wasn't cutting it. And now they're sleeping through the night, and gosh, they're in good moods. So I guess they need a full night's sleep too. Let's see if we can get any Daijing read while they're playing. Okay, let's see. Being obscure. Yeah, I know, right? It's nice. They've been in horrible moods the last couple of weeks that I've been down here, and so it's been hard. But they feel good today, so it's nice. It's nice to play with them. So we're on chapter 70. My words are so easy to understand, so easy to follow, and yet nobody in the world understands or follows them. Words come from an ancestry, deeds from a mastery. When these are unknown, so am I. In my obscurity is my value. That's why the wise wear their jade under common clothes. I know this is not what he means, but when it says nobody in the world understands or follows my words, I feel like if you just listen to what I'm telling you to do, I tell that to my husband all the time. If you just let me tell you what to do, then everything would be fine. Are you singing? Are you singing songs back there? Kitty, kitty. I like this last line where it says, that's why the wise wear their jade under common clothes. Good Lord, she scared me half to death. Here. I'm going to run out of orange pieces here in a second. I should have got more for the monkeys. And then the other one ran away with my wet cloth. Hi, Amy. Darn it. The best laid plans, right? So let's see what Stephen Mitchell says about this. Wearing jade under common clothes. What's up? Want some more? Like feeding the monkeys at the zoo. My teachings are easy to understand and easy to put into practice, yet your intellect will never grasp them, and if you try to practice them, you'll fail. My teachings are older than the world. How can you grasp their meaning? If you want to know me, look inside your heart. These are good today. Easy to put into practice, but trying to practice these principles doesn't work. It's the do or not do. You do it or you don't do it. You roll with things and look at them differently, or you stay stuck. And your intellect never will grasp them because it's not the venue of the mind. It's not the purpose of the mind to figure out esoteric and connection with source. The mind is for functioning here in this physical reality, not for maintaining that connection that we seek with this work. So it never works. In fact, the more you try to grasp it with your mind, the further away you get. I better grab another tangerine thing. Hang on. Hi. Hi. Better be prepared for when the whining starts. A lot of people, have a disconnect between mind and body. Their mind is so much dominant that they can't even feel their body. They're not even aware of their body. But your body is an instrument, a receiver of wisdom, a carrier of wisdom that you can't access if it's numbed out with food or drugs or alcohol or too much TV or too much internet. We disconnect even further from our bodies when we do all that. I'm as guilty as anyone of doing that, of numbing out and disconnecting from my physical self. But when I'm in connection with my physical self, it's interesting the last year or so that I've been able to tap into your physical self and get information that I feel in my own body, which is really interesting. And then when we figure out what it is, it disappears out of my body and it's gone. It's still in yours sometimes, but it's a fascinating process how the body can receive and transmit information if we let it, if we'll stay in touch enough to let it. And then sometimes I wonder if that's why we don't stay in touch with our bodies, because it is such a receiver and transmitter of information, and if we don't know what to do with that, it can feel like you're going insane. And people can tell you you're crazy too. What is that about? Have you tried uninstalling and reinstalling? Sometimes if you uninstall and reinstall, it will help. Not always, but sometimes. What? What? What are you saying back there? Got some commentary? She's got a lot to say today. Yeah, fear and yeah, it usually works for me if you uninstall and reinstall when it starts doing that no notification garbage. It's so irritating. They need to get it together with they need to get it together so we can approve our followers so that we aren't stuck every single day weeding out porn people. What's up, kid? What's that? That's you. Can you say Avery? Avery? Emo kid with your hair in your eye. You want an orange? Here you go. One piece at a time, I learned. Was giving them half tangerines, and that ended up smashed in the carpet and all over the place, so now it's one slice at a time. Let's see what Byron Katie has to add to this. Yeah, last time we were talking about death. This is chapter 70. If you want to know me, look inside your heart. The mind open to being questioned is the only mind that can take this journey. The open mind is fearless in its quest to live without suffering, and eventually inquiry is easy to put into practice because you learn to respect where your answers come from and the freedom they bring. Eventually, the mind understands that it has found its desired path, the path leading home, back to its very own self, its ultimate resting place. And the mind really does want to rest. It only chatters around because it senses that you're not in control, and somebody's got to be in control. So just like a little kid, they'll take over. Orange slices for everyone. When the questions are asked and the answers are allowed to surface, the mind is often shocked at itself. Yeah. It had no idea that such insights lived within it, and these answers allow deeper, more hidden answers to surface, be seen, and understood by the unknowing, inquiring polarity of mind. As mind comes to know... Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Are you serious? I thought she was eating all those slices. She wasn't. She was smashing them on the carpet. Gross. Fabulous. That's revolting. They're so gross.
Wow. Look.
God.
Yeah.
And it couldn't be in the kitchen, right? It has to be on the carpet, where it's like the hardest place to clean up. I thought she was eating those kind of fast. Because she wasn't eating them. She was smashing them. Ugh. They're so gross. Oh, okay. Let's see. The questioning is the end of all suffering, delusion, fear, and mistaken identity. We have mistaken identity problems because we think we're this or that and we're not any of it. Because, let's see, now I walk as the questions and I live the answers. Because my intention was to be open no matter what the consequences, I can't help but live in the world I call heaven. I even love my dentist. That's saying something. At first, inquiry may seem like more than you can handle. You may feel as if it's cutting your heart open without anesthesia. I'd have to agree with that. Everything you wanted to keep hidden comes to the surface. You feel all the repercussions of it, and you keep undergoing the death of who you thought you were. A very painful process. It takes a lot of guts to stick with this process. These things that we talk about every day take a lot of courage because they are really, really painful. This may double you up. You may vomit or have temporary paralysis for hours even. You are still identifying as a you. And you begin to see that you yourself are all the people you found unkind, brutal, stupid, crazy, greedy, despicable. And this can be so painful that sometimes you don't think you can bear it. As it keeps inquiring, the mind continues to understand that it is its only enemy, and the world is entirely its projection, that it is alone, that there is no other, and that this is absolute. When you start observing your thoughts, it can be pretty horrifying to find all those petty concepts. Yeah, opens us up to see things differently. Opens us up to see our own stories and our own petty, greedy, shallow, competitive, jealous parts. Oh, joy! It sounds like fun, doesn't it? It's going to double you up and make you vomit. Temporary paralysis. Who doesn't want to sign up for that train? Come on now. You know you want that ride. Oh, yay! Let's writhe around in agony on the floor. Let's look at all our horrifying parts and be shocked and appalled. Sounds like a great Saturday activity, doesn't it? Okay. Let's see. The turnarounds always keep it grounded with the invitation of being human. This balance sustains it between nothing and something, gives it the solid ground of a world, and allows trust to grow as you continue sweetly and surely to dissolve what is left. At some point, because it has completely rooted in itself, identity is lost as anything but mind. It can't be anything other than that again. It's dead to anything else. There can be grief, the experience of terrible loss, and loneliness when mind loses its identification as human. And at this point, it may begin to find other identities. A bird when you don't know how to fly, a rock when you're in a hurry and you can only sit there forever, knowing that eventually you'll turn to dust, and until then you're there with no arms, no legs, merely a rock. But with the power of inquiry, you love that you're that, and you don't desire any other identity, and you realize you can't have even that. There's no identification that you can live as, only mind. And as mind, you discover that every thought is gone, and only a thought that says it existed is left as its proof, and then that's gone too. In all this, all thought is gone. Everything is already gone. It's a little bit early in the morning for that deep of a philosophy. Yeah. It's that scary, groundless, the rug's been pulled out from under you, free falling feeling when you have those moments and you recognize everything you thought was true is absolutely not true. Everything you thought you were supposed to do is optional. And if you do it, you may or may not get the results you were told that you'd get if you followed steps 1, 2, and 3. And it can be really, really disorienting. And the more you meditate, especially if you're doing insight meditation where you're just watching your emotions and your feelings and practicing not labeling them, it does get weird where you understand that you can have any identity you want. Your identity as a white female 40-something or other from the South is optional. My identity. Hi, Ben. And then, all the identities and the labels, you start to see that you could actually, and I've had people do this before when they are trying to change their identity and the way they see life, sit down and write a new identity. If you don't like who you are, write a new one. If you don't like how you respond to life, write out a new script for yourself, because that's all it is. It's just a script, which means you can give yourself a new one if you don't like the one you've got. Even better is to accept the one you've got and find the positives in it. Painful to see the lies I believed and the misconceptions I created all on my own. Yeah, it's a painful process writing a new identity. Cut. Right. Take 427. Oh, take 2. You're more generous than I am. So if I have an identity as a victim person and I don't want to be that anymore, then I sit down and I write out a description of what does a brave person look like. I've done this with kids. Kids are easier to work with because they've had less years on the planet to get cemented into their belief systems. But if you have a kid that's scared of everything and you say, well, what do brave people do then? And they'll tell you, well, brave people walk like this, and brave people talk this way, and this is what brave people do. Yeah, you can have a rewrite. You can rewrite your own script. And then you can tell them, okay, then start talking like that. Start carrying your body like that, and let's see if you feel more brave. And they do, of course. Body language can change your whole mood. But they quickly grasp the concept that if they want to act in the world and move through the world with a different set of labels that forms an identity, that they can do that. And they're usually pretty happy to try. The hard part is when you have a kid who's a 3rd or 4th generation gang family kid. For some reason, those kids are more wedded to their identity because it's so tied up in family. So if they change their identity, even at a very young age, like 13, 14, they understand that if they change their identity and choose to leave that world, that they'll lose their family. And a 13 and a 14-year-old, it's a rare one that's able to make that decision. I had one 18-year-old young man who's now a youth minister in Colorado who was able to make that choice, but only because he had a spiritual awakening. The doors of his mind were just blown open one night at Bible study, and he saw everything that we're trying to see, and he never really lost that understanding. So he still stayed in that system, but as a helper rather than as a participant. He had the strength to do that. That was like one of those miracle things. He was such a great kid. I did my graduate studies paper on him because he was such a neat kid. And he did bad things. He tried to kill someone. He robbed. He stole. He beat up multiple people. He ended up in the Division of Youth Corrections because he stabbed someone that very nearly died because he stabbed him like 14 times. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. So he never wanted to go to Bible study yes, absolutely. I'll never forget him. He went to he never would go to Bible study, and I always tried to get him to go when he was in DYC. And one night he said he didn't know why. He just stood up and went. And sometime during the service, he felt like the preacher, who he knew, changed, and that God himself was speaking to him through this pastor or preacher or whoever. And he said he broke out into a sweat. He threw up. He got clammy. He got hot. He got cold. He sweated. And he freaked out and started crying. And he saw all the horrible things he'd done. And he saw all the garbage that he'd been handed. And he got the clear understanding that he could choose something differently. And even the loss of his family, he understood that the payoff of the choice would be worth it. So if he can do it, and he did that at 15. Oh, I cried with him when he told me his story. Because we went into detail on his story for my graduate paper. And I knew his story already, but when we went over it moment by moment, and he knew he could tell me about his spiritual experience, it was really profound. I'll never, ever forget it. And now he serves other kids. Yeah. So he had that experience at 15 years old. And when I was working with him, he was 16, 17, and 18. Really cool kid. Really cool kid. What you need? You want an orange? What? You want this box? Box? Hi, Julia. She says Bach instead of box. So, you can do that same thing. You can see things clearly, and you can see that you can choose different ways to live. You can choose to live or take on the role and the identity of anything you want. Anything you want. If you want to take on the role and identity of a healer, do it. If you want to take on the role and identity of an accountant, well, there you go. I don't know what that looks like, but what you need? Want this? I don't know what you want. Want this? How about you take on the role and identity of a human being? What you want? Little Tyler, what you want? Here. Oh, God, too heavy. Too heavy. I still don't know what you're after. Orange. Here. Oop. Yuck. Don't get your sticky on me. Gross. Here. All right. Whew. Good thing I got a big lap. Ashlyn, yep. One in. Say hi. Say hi. Orange. Say hi. Look, Ashlyn. Look at the hearts. Ashlyn. Look. Look. Say hello. Hi. Yeah, isn't that great? Wave him hello. Look at this. That's the funnest thing ever. That little pudge. Yes. Okay. So, when you're recognizing that all the things you thought were you are not you, you can be disoriented and sad and go through grief and go through loss and go through fear. You talking to that little girl? Say hi, little girl. So that's all normal. So that's what people sometimes call a dark night of the soul, when they recognize that their identity is a construct and they recognize they can construct a different one. She has excellent advice. You saying you? Say thank you. Thank you. She's talking a lot. Let's see. So inquiry continues to kill what you think you are until you discover something else. The question mind is pure wisdom, and it can heal the whole world. As it heals, the world heals. I came to see that I couldn't live until I died, and what lives, thank God, is not the me I thought I was.
Yeah.
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 There's nothing I am that is not beautiful. I appear as all things, old and new, beginning and end. I'm everything. I'm you. You can go anywhere, and where you are in the moment shows this to be true. You are anywhere. What would this place where you are be without a name? It would be magical, sacred, and miraculous. And how did you get here? Why do you need a destination? It only turns out to be this or that anyway, what you planned or what you didn't plan. I understand that you love when your plan matches reality, and in all of that, here you are now, as the future you always wondered about, on the street, checking out the garbage bin, noticing that it's beyond what you really need, beyond what you already have. Let's see. Without your story, aren't you fine? Isn't life's own destination more wondrous than imagination could dictate? What is adversity? It's simply when your story doesn't match reality. That's adversity. That's suffering. Good Lord, kid.
Yeah.
And it only happens when you argue against reality. When your story doesn't match what you... What are you doing? Hearts. Can you say hearts? I don't know what that's about. Can you say hearts? Hearts. She's just expressing herself, I guess. Say hi, baby. Say hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. This age is fun when they're parrots. And you can have them parroting stuff, which is not always nice, but... Adversity is adversity. Simply when your story doesn't match reality. Whoops. That's a book. That's Mama's book. You can have this box. What up, that box? I think our time is probably up. Here you go. I got this one down here grinding those tangerine slices into the carpet. Oh, joy! That tangerine grind into the carpet is, and you know, that's my reality that says that shouldn't be there. There shouldn't be tangerine getting crushed into the carpet. But that's what it is. I know, right? Well, they have 2 dogs, but they won't eat the fruit. They'll eat everything else. They're good for vacuuming up the Cheerios. Let's see. Let's see. Grace means understanding that where you are is where you always wanted to be. It means noticing what is reality in full appreciation and gratitude, and seeing at the same time how much better off your life is without the story. I'm paraphrasing. It's the realization that where you are and what you are and what everything is and how it is in every moment is your heart's desire, fulfilled beyond what you ever could have imagined. Let's see. Let's see. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Even little toddlers, you can see, you could tell when they started developing stories and arguing with reality already. They think that things should be a certain way already, and they get pissed off when it's not. So you can't blame yourself for having stories to undo. It takes a certain level of maturity to recognize that you're telling yourself stories to begin with. Oh, with the whining and the whining. You want down? Okay. Are you on your feet? All right, good. Yes, it's human nature. And when we get to be adults, or if we're lucky, teens, like Josh, when he had his 15, woke up when he was 15. I feel like I have, but I don't think I've read it. Let me write that down. I did just get this book, The Year of Yes. This is by the woman who created Grey's Anatomy, that show, and something else. Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, and she was the executive producer of How to Get Away with Murder. She spent a year saying yes to things that she typically said no to. I haven't read it yet. Okay, so Julia, Falling Upward, is that what it was? Hey, how's it going? All about the second half and undoing what we did the first half. Oh, I think I need to read that then. Falling Upward. I feel like I've seen that title.
I'm gone.
Okay, cool. Oh, you knew. Do you recommend it also? Must be a good one. Synchronicity. Falling Upward. I've got so many books to read. Richard. Okay.
I'm gone.
Oh, really? That's cool. I don't think I've ever heard of him. I think I've seen the title, but it's not familiar. The author's name's not familiar at all. So, good. I can read some more. The Spirituality for the Two Halves of Life. Okay, that sounds totally intriguing. I was reading, I haven't finished it yet, Goddesses in Older Women, I think is the title. Nina can correct me if I've got it wrong. It's, you remember that book, Goddesses in Every Woman? It's for women in the second stage of life. There you go. Yes, so I'm interested in those books, since I'm approaching 50, like any minute now. What? What? Oh, you're too heavy for me to lift. You're too heavy. All right. Can you say bye?
Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Avery still says, die, die, die.
Da-da-da.
I think she's liking looking at herself in the camera. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay.
You're welcome. It's kind of short on Twins Days. Thank you. Thank you. Lots of talking. All right, thanks for hanging out with me. Oh, nice. I'll see you later. We'll see you tomorrow from home. You're welcome. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for the book recommendation, guys. Say bye-bye. One more. Bye-bye.
One.
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 She's really liking talking to herself. Okay. See you later.